Hello and welcome to another episode of the Barnsley StartUp MeetUp podcast with me, your host Matt Roberts as usual. With me today I've got Laura Stead, marketer extraordinaire, who has very kindly agreed to do the next StartUp MeetUp in-person event. And so really, without any further ado, Laura, welcome.
Hello, thank you for having me.
No, thank you for coming on. Do you want to just start by giving us a little bit of a background on how you got started in business, why you started your own business, and you know, not so much all of the challenges that you experienced with that, but yeah, just a little bit of kind of motivation, really.
Okay. The very short version of this story is I was made redundant.
Right.
I have been in marketing for a long time. Very much enjoyed my corporate job a lot. And then in 2017, the charity that I worked for at the time made every single employee redundant and decided to close its doors. So there was about 50 members of staff UK-wide. So I thought, well, I'll just have a little go at being freelance. I'd used freelancers in different specialisms, different freelance creatives, freelance marketers across my whole career, and I thought, well, I'll just have a little go at that and see what it feels like and where it takes me, rather than going and getting another regular job.
Yeah.
And here we are almost 9 years later, so
Wow,
that's why it
years.
started, ultimately, yeah.
It's quite interesting. Like, there's been a couple of people that I've spoken to on the podcast who've had a very similar story, in the sense that, you know, when you're younger, you haven't got as many responsibilities, you haven't got as many like kind of dependents, I guess, really, and so you can just give it a go, can't you? And it's quite liberating in that regard. Have you found, like, what? I assume that there were some points along that journey, along that 9-year journey, where you've kind of thought, oh, I need to jack this in, I need to stop it, or or has that been the case?
Yeah, I mean, what I didn't mention earlier is that I was in, I guess, a bit of a unique position, that I was on maternity leave.
Right.
Which some people think, oh, that's awful, what an awful time to be made redundant, but you're already bracing yourself for being pretty skint during that time. And that, I guess, gave me, although I'd got a lot of responsibilities, I'd got a baby and a young child and a mortgage and stuff, it kind of alleviated that pressure at the beginning. But then as time goes on, I think most people that I've met, you do get to those points where you think, oh, would it just be easier to get a regular job?
Yeah.
I think, I felt those times around tax return times. To be perfectly honest, I don't think it's very uncommon.
No, it's not what you get into business for, is it, really?
It's not.
Doing all of the admin.
It's not my thing at all. And I think when you see your figures, even when, like, luckily, like, mine have been fine in the majority, 99% of the time. But when you see them, you just sometimes think, oh, would life just be easier? Getting a regular 9 to 5.
Yeah.
So that I guess, yeah. And January is a weird time, I think, for a lot of people, and I think for a lot of marketers, a lot of freelancers. You've got clients that are coming up to a time of the year where they're feeling a little bit nervous sometimes too.
Yeah,
so January, I always find I might have a little wobble. What always, I would say, grounds me is the thought of filling in someone else's annual leave request form.
Yeah.
That is the one thing that I constantly think of and think, would that actually make you really happy, Laura? And it wouldn't.
Yeah.
It conjures up all those feelings that I used to get of working at kind of the corporate side of things.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, tax return wobbles. I think the best of us have that. That's normal.
Absolutely. I mean, the thing is, because January is a pretty bleak month anyway, as well, isn't it? And also, certainly in my business at least anyway, I know that it's a quiet point of the year, or it tends to be a quieter point of the year, largely because a lot of people are kind of redoing budgets, redoing plans for the next year and all of that sort of stuff. So there's not really anything coming in as well, right? And so, it definitely makes for some stressful times, right? Have you got any, like, other than, having to think about filling in someone else's holiday request form, are there any things that you've kind of done that would have helped keep you motivated, or at least keep you hungry to keep going, right?
Yeah, so I am not generally a person that's very good at reflecting. I'm more of a just go, do, and on to the next thing. But a couple of years ago, I reflected and put some work into that. And I worked with someone who helped me to actually understand what gives me motivation and fire in my belly and energy to work with, and to get a clearer picture of what were the things that really drain the energy out of me. And what was really nice about the whole process is it's stuff that I knew about myself all along, but I think I'd got lost along the way. So I need to be around people, other humans, and I need to be doing something that's creative. And I've always known that, that's just me. But being self-employed can be quite lonely.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what I have done, and it was difficult, I plant myself in my friend's workplace. It just sounds like a little bit crazy now, I said it out loud. I needed to be around people. I don't like working from home on my own. There's only so many coffee shops and stuff you can pop up in and that kind of stuff. I don't want to have a fixed place because my clients are all over. I'd never be in my own office. One day my friend was like, is there anything I can do to maybe, support you or whatever? And I was like, do you know what? There's a desk at the back of your office there that's just got storage and stuff on it. Can I work from there every now and again? And it has made the world of difference.
Nice.
Even if I'm there and working and my head is down and they probably think I'm being a little bit antisocial, just having other humans around is the thing that keeps me going. So I need that as that motivator. And I also try to balance. I can't avoid everything that drains my energy, tax return. But I'm now really mindful that I need to do something creative around that to give me that motivation. And I think had I not done that little bit of learning about myself at that time, I think I probably could have quite easily spiralled into I don't like this anymore, I've fallen out of love with it. Shall I just go and do something a little bit more conventional? But it's bringing it back to those things each time that's really kept me going with it and motivated and hungry to keep going and to build it.
I mean, it is lonely, and that's part of the reason that I do the Barnsley StartUp MeetUp, really, is because, you could get really quite lost in your own world and think that you're the only one going through these universal things, like having to do your tax return, having to engage with HMRC in just any kind of way is always challenging, let's say.
Terrifying.
Yeah. I think you develop coping mechanisms, don't you? But yeah, absolutely. And actually, understanding that you can't necessarily reflect on yourself. Like you said there, you had all the answers. It's just it took someone else, or explaining that to someone else, for you to recognise that this is the thing that actually makes me to keep coming back, or these are my whys. I always use it as my why, right? What is your why? Why are you doing this? And if you can't satisfy that anymore, then you need to move on to something else, right? Absolutely. But if you can continue to understand what makes you tick and what makes you continue to do the things, then you're much happier, aren't you?
Much happier.
One other thing that I always tend to ask people who've been in business, or at least been running their own business for some time, is what was the conversation with your husband, partner like at the time? Like, did you I assume you discussed it.
I mean, yeah, I was 30 weeks pregnant. It was quite a big discussion, to be honest.
Yeah, it's a big thing, right?
No one's ever asked me that before. Chris has always been my biggest supporter in anything that I've done. And I'm lucky, really, that we met through work. It's cliche and it's cheesy. So he's always had a real good understanding of my work, what I do, what I like about it, what I don't. We're on holiday. We're on a beach. We're on Fistral Beach. That's my happy place. And I'd just come off a conference call in my Apple headphones with wires to say, yeah, you're all out of a job, being made redundant. And obviously, you've been in consultation, haven't you? So, although there was a big degree of naivety leading up to it by all of us. And I think he could probably see what was coming. And I think it's probably fair to say that he was a bit more enthusiastic about the idea of me being self-employed.
Really?
I'm terrible at reflecting, and it's not uncommon that some people know me more than I know myself sometimes. And Chris is luckily one of those people. I've got several friends and my husband that can see what would work really well for me. And again, that position of being on mat leave, we're skint anyway. We might as well just give it a go. But it's like he knew it'd work out all along.
But the reason I ask the question generally is because you need that support, right? You can't do it on your own.
No.
And if you've got someone that is cheerleading you and is kind of like, no obstacles, yes, we can make this work.
Yeah.
It makes such a difference to whether you're going to be successful, right?
Huge.
Or whether you're going to actually continue to strive to get something off the ground.
Yeah, huge. And to be honest, like we're very different in our careers. Like Chris is the one that is got a regular job. Chris is from a teaching background. So he loves an institution. Do you know what I mean? He's always worked somewhere that's in a big part of a team, and it's like he works at university now. It's an institution, and that's his vibe. Yeah. And that's my idea of hell. Like I just can't. So I guess the contrast works really well, and of course, him having a regular job, I think at the beginning certainly gave that bit of security of, well, at least we've got a stable income coming in, which, gave that flexibility. I don't know what it'd feel like if we were both self-employed. I would love Chris, just part of me, I'd love Chris to be self-employed. It'd be brilliant. It'd be such a good entrepreneur. But you sometimes have to have those conversations around, well, my income can be up and down. Yeah. His is very secure, so that there were certainly conversations around that balance as well. But then now, it's, and you'll probably find this as well, it does sometimes become a logistical. He's got a regular job, but it's not necessarily Monday to Friday 9 while 5. I don't work on Monday. There's certainly a lot of conversations about logistics that happen now that didn't initially. Absolutely.
I'm not going to go through all of the things that you've done over the last 9 years because that would be insane, right? Yeah. But you do quite a bit of work with Enterprising Barnsley, and so do you want to just go into a bit of detail about that? Like, how do you help startups in that way?
Yeah, so I do loads of work with Enterprising Barnsley, and they are the most brilliant team to work with. So I guess really one of the let's call it a catalyst of my self-employment working out was quite quickly winning a contract with Launchpad South Yorkshire. And so I initially got the contract in Rotherham, and then as different tenders have come up over the time, you know, it is with local authority procurement, I then started working with Enterprising Barnsley. So I deliver marketing support, let's call it. Usually a combination of one-to-many workshops. So I do a lot of workshops in DMC, and I do that over in Rotherham and a bit in Sheffield as well. I am in the industry, you'd call me a marketing generalist.
Okay.
That's not the most glamorous phrase at all, is it?
Sounds like a GP, right?
It is. Yeah, it is. Yeah. I might change it to that. I'm like a marketing GP. But that means I can deliver support and workshops on lots of different kind of marketing angles, and then if they do need something way more specific, there's other avenues that those people can go through, and I've stopped counting. That's really bad, isn't it? I literally deliver workshops to hundreds of people wanting to either start their own business or grow their small business each year, and it is a very privileged position to be in. It means I hear lots of stuff, lots of stories about people's experiences, their challenges, what they need, and that really helps me then add more value to my kind of the marketing support that I provide, because it can be so specific to what we feel either in Barnsley or in those kind of particular areas. But I love Enterprising Barnsley immensely. It is I feel like I'm fangirling. And I'm not just saying that because I'm in Barnsley. They're a really good team. The Launchpad programme in general, it is fantastic. It's a great programme. But Enterprising Barnsley's execution of that, and the team that work on it, and the people that come to the workshops are just brilliant.
So do you want to just get, like, that's kind of leads us on to what you're going to be talking about at the StartUp MeetUp. Do you want to just give, like, because it's just going to be a little flavour of, I guess, what you kind of do for Launchpad and everything like that. Do you want to just take us through a little bit on that?
Yeah, so after kind of much dilly-dallying around, because I think there's so much stuff that I could talk about. I found it a little bit hard to condense it down. Earlier this year I ran a session on marketing trends, and I hate the word trends, and talking about marketing trends in May when you part way through a year felt a bit weird. So I'm going to talk about things that you can do in your marketing as a small business, usually on a limited budget with a bit of a DIY approach. That I think a lot of people forget about. So without rambling on and ranting about social media marketing, I think we can get, it's safe to say we can get a little bit obsessed with purely social media marketing. There's lots of stuff out there at the minute about, I've got a business, I didn't want to be a content creator. And a lot of the stuff that I talk about in those workshops helps, I guess, pick that apart, and people know where social media might play a role and what content is when you don't want to be a monetized content creator. So we're going to chat through that. I'm going to chat through some of the other things that actually sit outside social media and content. Who knew?
There's a world out there.
There's a whole marketing strategy out there that you're not thinking about. We're going to chat about search. The way that people search for stuff has changed hugely. And I don't think enough people know and appreciate that, and understanding that can make a massive difference when you're starting or growing a business. We're going to talk about human connection a little bit. Awesome. Sounds a bit woo-woo, doesn't it? But
are we going to have to reach out and touch?
No, we're not. We're not. Oh, no. We don't have to physically contact. We're not even any eye contact, really. But because there is so much digital noise out there.
Yeah.
There is a real gap sometimes for your business and your brand to do some marketing that is about real life humans, human connections. We'll chat about that. We're going to chat a lot about community, and I know that the word means a multitude of things, but actually understanding how to grow a community around your business and your brand, whether that's online or offline. And my favourite, I'm going to talk about co-creation.
Oh, yeah, okay.
It's a bit of a buzzword, but the concept of not having to do things alone, doing a marketing thing, a campaign, or just one bit of content or something with someone else or a range of other people can make a huge impact.
Yeah. It's greater than the sum of its parts, right?
Exactly.
And, that little bit of effort from a load of people means that you deliver more. Yeah.
And it can be, again, it comes back to it's doing something in your marketing that doesn't feel lonely as well. It can be, it is usually a good learning experience, but it's also usually a very good route if done strategically to get yourself quite a lot of brand exposure to audiences that maybe are more established than what you're creating.
And lends yourself, it's that whole thing of trust around your name, your company name, who you are and things like that. Like you say, if you're partnering with maybe a slightly larger name or a more established name in the market you're trying to break into, some of that trust rubs off on you, right? Because if they trust you, then other people are looking at that and going, clearly there's something here, right?
It's like trust by association. But you've got to do it in the right way.
Yeah.
You've got to do your due diligence. You've got to really understand, there's people in my workshop, people that have said, my friend's got, this network of X amount of 1,000 people, all these, I'm going to do something with them. And it's like, well, but their audience is not relevant to anything that you are doing. You've got to kind of, understand. And
you've got to be selective, haven't you? And it's got to, like you say, it's got to be sympathetic to what you're trying to do. In the same way as that, they're not going to do it for free, or they're going to need to look for something out of that as well, right? And so you need to be bringing something to the table that
definitely
is that bolsters what they're doing, right?
It's striking a tone where it is ideally mutually beneficial.
For
everyone. We're not going to just blatantly piggyback off someone else's brand, but it's a stronger together mentality,
absolutely.
Which it's tried and tested, but I think sometimes we forget about it.
Definitely.
It gets mixed.
Well, like you say, you end up kind of focusing everything, all your efforts in one area, because that's what's perceived to be the way forward. And then, forget about some of the older ways of doing things. And not even the older ways, just engaging with people. I always say this, I've never won business without actually sitting down with someone and seeing them face to face and having a conversation with them face to face. You can do a lot of the kind of outreach remotely and things like that, but there's nothing that replaces actually being in the same physical space as someone. Right?
Absolutely not. No.
So in more recent times, you've started your own CIC. And because there wasn't enough on your plate.
Let me just reflect on that for a second. So when I was self-employed, I'm from a bit of a charity comms background anyway, not exclusively, but my last normal job was for a national children's charity, and you get the feels. The long and short of it is when you're working in marketing, there's things that you can do where you just get the lovely, warm, fluffy feels that something that you've done has actually made a really big impact to either an individual or a community. So when I went self-employed initially, I always wanted to achieve that. somehow. So last year, I was the founding director of a community interest company, which is a not-for-profit. It is called Affable.
Nice.
I'll not ramble on about why it's called that. And its purpose really is to help individuals and organisations where access to marketing support or business support is usually quite a challenge, and that's typically because they've not got the funds, the budget to go out and get that commercially. But those organisations are typically the ones that are making a real big difference in their communities. So the KIC exists to support, I know we call it VCSE sectors. I'm not a fan of an acronym, but it's to support charities, community groups, social impact organisations, that kind of thing, to help them communicate, because the better they can communicate, the more impact that they can have and the more sustainable they are well. So we've worked on some gorgeous projects, some really, really nice projects.
Good.
But I said both locally and nationally as well, which is really nice. It's somewhat been launched by stealth.
Right.
Because I want everything about it to be grounded in proof and need, and build based on that. Yeah. Rather than me going out and just inflicting on people what I think they need. It's based in Barnsley, best place ever.
Of course.
And I'm really excited about it. It does feel like I'm running two businesses, which essentially I am. But the KIC, I feel, has got that opportunity for more people to be involved in it that are also interested in things that are values led, that have got people that have got some real great talents or experiences where those communities would really benefit. So the vision for Affable is that it will support communities, not-for-profit organisations that really struggle to access things like marketing support, business support, comms support, because sometimes funding that is a real big barrier. The ultimate vision for it is it will grow. It will be a place where other experts that have got some really valuable experiences, skills to share, can help share those out to those communities. And it will be a thing that those individuals or communities that are accessing the support that Affable provides can have a far deeper impact in their local area. It's a really sustainable model. They learn how to do things themselves or autonomously, and they can then build that into their. It's
upskilling rather than actually delivering work, right?
And awesome. Some of the work that we've done so far has been with volunteers.
Nice.
As well, so it is helping people that, as an individual, they might be struggling to get into employment. They might not be able to work for health reasons, but they are able to volunteer. It's upskilling and developing and empowering them and giving them, an opportunity to find, be passionate about creating stuff on Canva or social media, that kind of stuff. But it helps, enhance, enrich those individuals as well. So
fantastic.
Yeah, it's exciting. Exciting times.
Absolutely. So, there's loads. We could carry on talking for ages, but I'm conscious that I need to wrap it up at least anyway. But I always have one question that I always have to ask each of my guests, and I don't know whether you've seen any of the previous interviews, but that question is, Laura, what's your ultimate sandwich?
Well, this is where I have to say I'm supposed to be yeast free.
I'm kind of nervous about where this is going now.
So it's very, but I'm not the greatest yeast free person. So it would have to be a wrap rather than a sandwich.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And in that would be tuna mayo and cheese.
Nice. Yeah, I'm down for that.
Yeah.
Grilled, like
grilled. Grilled.
Yeah.
Yeah. And on the days where I think, oh well, sod it, I'll have a bit of yeast. I go to, there's a little cafe on the Victorian Arcade in Barnsley.
Okay, yeah.
Is it the Ivy something? Can't remember what it's called. And they do a tuna mayo and cheese grilled panini.
Oh, nice.
And it is perfection.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah,
that's my fave.
Do you have anything else in that, or is it literally just pure as it comes?
Probably too much cheese than someone should be consuming, to be honest. Or is there too much chease?
I don't know if you can have too much cheese. No.
Yeah, it's really nice. Also, their cakes are really nice.
Yeah.
As well.
So if you were going to have a cake with it, like so you've got your panini, tuna melt, or tuna cheese melt. What's the cake?
They do a school cake.
A school cake?
And it's a right slabber it.
What's a school cake?
Oh, it's like vanilla sponge on the bottom, and on the top, the thickest layer of pink icing.
Nice.
With hundreds and thousands.
Oh, that is awesome.
It's really nice.
Yeah.
And actually, they do offer it as a meal deal, so you can get a treat with that as well. They're not a client. I'm not endorsing. This is just a recommendation.
Yeah. They're not sponsoring this either.
no, but if they would like to sponsor me, that would be nice. Wink, wink. That was all because of the staff that work on DMC reception.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Introduced me, gave me a menu, and it got to the point where Julie on reception said, "Are you having that panini again, Laura?" And I was like, "Oh,
are we going to have to cut you off? Are we going to have to
becoming a little bit
stage an intervention? Yeah,
you're going to have to roll me in and out of the building if I have any more of those cheesy paninis and those slabs of cake."
Nice.
But yeah, it is a very, very good little cafe.
Lovely.
On the arcade.
I'm going to have to check it out now.
I would highly recommend. Don't be coming at me when you're spending a ridiculous amount of money and time purchasing their goods, because
it's easy to get sucked in.
Easy
nice
to get sucked in.
Nice.
So yeah, that's
awesome.
Me.
Thank you very much, Laura.
Thank you.
So that's it for this episode of the podcast. As usual, the StartUp MeetUp in-person event is on the second Thursday of every month. This month, in May, that's going to be on the 14th of May. And we've moved from the Spiral City to the old number 7, downstairs at the old number 7. So come and join us, see what we're all about. It's all about community and making you feel less lonely as a startup entrepreneur. And that all that's left to say is really thank you very much, Laura.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.